Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5. Oh, that's gonna get confusing due to the world's order, but don't worry about it. Of the Wizard101 story series where I recount the story and past of every world in Wizard101. Today's episode is Mushu. Now, I can't really relate this to normal history as much because I have not studied Asian history nearly as much as I've studied everything else. But I do know a little bit about Japan, so hopefully that will connect. That will kind of connect in here. So we're gonna start with the books, like I did last time, because the books are really cool. So let's begin. The first book. Well, first I want to say one cool thing about this is that the reason why supposedly these books were written by a visitor that came through the spiral and wrote the history as a gift to Mushu, which I thought was really cool. So, first book. Centuries of peace led to one of the greatest periods in Mushu history, begins the volume. During Emperor Song's rule, the people of Mushu began developing magic not just for officials, but for commoners as well. The country thrived with new ideas and art. Mushu rediscovered the spiral and welcomed trade from other worlds. Treaties between neighboring worlds fostered a spirit of friendship and cooperation. Now, this is a little bit different than Asian history normally as well, because Asian history tends to be very isolated from the rest of the world. Many countries in Asia refuse to trade with others. China, because so they traded with others, but they refused to open their countries to free trade. So for example, China did trade with European countries. For example, Spain, who was a notorious colonial power, gained significant amounts of silver from Peru, because Peru had silver mines, and that inflated their economy. So when they noticed that their economy was crashing because of it, they decided to sell all of it, and China is the one that bought all of that silver, like a significant amount of it. Obviously there's the tea trade between Britain, but a lot of the trade China did was they viewed themselves as the superior in the partnership, which is very common for China. If you don't know, China viewed themselves as superior than the rest of the world for probably up until modern day. Even now they probably have that idea, but it's just like a cool thing to think about, is that they had that in the past. Japan didn't open their borders until they were forced to by the United States in about 1870, I believe. So the next book begins, according to legend, dragons once lived in Mushu. The tale begins with Emperor Ping, who formed the first empire using the power of a dragon. Since that time, the Mushu emperors have wielded dragon magic and have called themselves descendants of the dragon. So this is also a very Chinese thing, because China is notorious for its symbology with dragons, and the Chinese dragon, you guys know, I'm sure. You know, it's different than the Western idea of a dragon. You got the 4 legs and the long body. But yeah, it's very much related to normal history. The treaties with foreigners angered some warlords, starts this book. 2 small clans, the Kitten and the Manju, mastered magic through the spiral. They seized control and imprisoned the Emperor of the Jade Palace. Their rule was hard on the people of Mushu, thanks to the works of pious monks, the teachings of... Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry, I started reading the next book, I think. Wait. Yeah, no, okay, I started reading the next book, sorry, because there's no titles for these books for some reason, which is really annoying. But this, to me, seems directly related to Japanese history, because in Japan, I'm sure this happened in China as well. My brain can't really remember it all that much. I need to brush up on my Japanese history a bit, but I believe because Japan was notorious for the emperor and then the daimyos of the emperor. The daimyos are the subjects and warlords beneath him. And I believe in the Warring States period of Japan, which is the 15th century and the 16th century, I believe that some of the warlords captured the emperor and defined the country that way. I'm almost positive that happened at least once, so that's probably what that's referring to. oh wait, the next book was part of it, but thanks to the works of pious monks, the teachings of Muda offered comfort and spread amongst the people of Mushu. So basically, this is talking about the spread of the Muda religion, which is based on Buddhism, obviously, which that's more of a Chinese thing. Japan didn't really pick up on Buddhism as much. They were more of the Shinto religion and the Japanese gods. So Christianity did spread through Japan at one point, but obviously it's not talking about that. The next book actually has a title, Time of the Dragons. There came a time when even the power of dragons was not enough, begins this volume. Neighboring clan leaders mastered the magic of their own, they began fighting each other, and the power of the emperor weakened. 3 clans controlled Mushu during this period, and though they are no longer as powerful as they once were, to this day they continue to influence the destiny of Mushu. So that is based on the Warring States period, as I said before. You find another volume which reads, with newfound peace comes a new philosophy to govern Mushu. Excuse me. Ugh. To prevent the clans from fighting again, officials had to study an ever-growing library of books and scrolls. Emperors only appointed officials based on hard work and merit. This code of honor, developed by the great philosopher Kyung Fuzi, spread throughout Mushu. The people still follow its principles today and honor the emperor above all else. That's a mix of the two again. Based on I believe, the Bushido, which was the samurai code, the code of honor, and also in China, they also had something semi-similar, I believe, that developed over time, and obviously loyal to the emperor above all else. That's common between both. The next one, years of infighting left the clans out of control. Emperor Mushu seized the power that was rightfully his by rallying the people against the corrupt leaders. Because Emperor Mushu was the first emperor to unite the entire country, people have called him Mushu ever since. I don't think that's specifically related to anything, but it's cool history. A strange alliance led to the end of the Khitan and Manchu rule. This book begins. The monks who followed Muda spoke out. The samurai servants of the 3 great clans rose to free the emperor. The emperor took the name of one of these brave samurai, Heiji, and restored the philosophy of Kyung Fuzi to the country, and he opened the spire only to those the most worthy. Ever since, Mushu emperors have ruled a peaceful land with only the help of the clan's samurai and the Buddhist monks, who rely on the swords and prayer rather than spiral magic. So, this is very interesting because it's not really related to normal history, because Heiji is probably based on Meiji, which was the Japanese emperor who rose to power following the period of time where Japan was open to the West, and he westernized Japan extremely fast. He studied every other culture in the world and then replicated he kind of forced that onto Japan, and Japan became a very Western country extremely fast. He rose in, I believe, like 1880, 1890, and by 1908, Japan could already rival Russia's military, and they did in the Russo-Japanese War when Japan actually beat Russia. So that just kind of goes to show that it's not directly related to history, but it kind of shows that it still has parallels and still kind of is related to normal history. So that's kind of the book aspect of Mushu, and that's it for this one. Now we're going to go into the main plot of Mushu. Now, the reason why we're in Mushu is because we've just come from Marleybone, and we need to follow Malistaire because Malistaire obviously has stolen the Croconomicon. We learn from Merle Ambrose that he has gone to the World Dragonspire, and the only way to get to Dragonspire is to get the Dragonspire World Key from the Emperor of Mushu. So we come here, we go to Mushu, and we're like, okay, we need to figure out how this works. So we come here to the Jade Palace. We ask Noboru Akatami up here if we can speak to the Emperor. He says none may speak to the Emperor until you pass his 3 tests. Test of body, which is to defeat, what's his name over there? Yoshibo? Is that his name? Wait, I need to do it. But I need to see what his name is, but I'll continue anyway. The test of mind over there, which is just kind of... Oh, Yoshimo. And then the test of mind over there, which is kind of just to meditate in a rock garden. And then actually talking to the Muda himself, If you can meditate in front of the Muda and he talks to you, you pass the test, which is the test of spirit. You come back to him after passing all the tests, and he's like, the hell? No one's passed all the tests except for the Emperor. And you're like, okay, I'm good. And then he lets you know the Emperor is actually sick. He has been poisoned, and that's a really big problem. He says basically, to fix the Emperor, you need to regather all of the Emperor's items and then kind of cleanse his spirit. So he lets you know that the first item is the Emperor's sword, which is in the Hamatsu Village branch of things. So you come over to Hamatsu Village, and you learn that from a samurai over here that we're being plagued by the local warlords of the area. So you go through the street, you save some monks, you defeat the warlord Dodaga, and then boom, you're free. And then he lets you know that in Tataki Outpost, his brother, I believe, is attempting to solve the issues there. So you go there, and you learn from him as well that it's a complete shit show over there. A local warlord named Maito, I believe, has risen and is suppressing the people. So he tells you, please, you gotta help us. We do. We kill everything. We defeat Maito, and we move on. Next, we move to the Crimson Fields. The Crimson Fields is the dungeon, actually, here. Excuse me. And in that dungeon, we learn that Warlord Katsumori is nearby, and we must defeat him to get the Emperor's sword. We defeat him, and then out pops the War Oni, and we realize that, oh god, the Onis, these demons, are, you know, are possessing the people, and, fuck, I can't see his name. I think it's Katsumori. Possessing the people, possessing these warlords to kind of cause havoc. You defeat the War Oni, you get the sword, and boom, all is well. Next, you are being sent to Shoshan Village because I believe, oh, what are you trying to get? You're trying to get the Emperor's something. What is it? I don't remember, but you have the Emperor's sword now. Then you need to come to Shoshan Village. In Shoshan Village, you learn that there's a lot of just shit going down, you know? More enemies plaguing the landscape. It's really chaotic and sad. So, you first go to the Cave of Solitude. In the Cave of Solitude, you need to find the Jade Scepter, because the Jade Scepter is what allows you to, like, cleanse the shrines of the land, which I think is the reason why you're here, actually. So, you finally get the Jade Scepter after, like, many battles of attempting to, which you can't, because no one has it, no one knows who has it. So, you eventually find it, boom, you repair it. Then you need to go to Kishiba Village. In, I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry. In Kishiba Village, you meet a monk named Tulakwo, and he tells you that you must restore all the shrines because they've gone to shit recently. So you do. You learn that half of them don't even have people at them, so you need to find the people. You learn that there's deceased villagers due to some mushrooms growing. You destroy the mushrooms. Everything's fine. You meet this samurai who doesn't believe that he can become the shrine guardian of the shrine of the shrine of the spirit, I believe. But eventually he accepts, and boom, you've done all the shrines. And then you come here to the Shirataki Temple. You go through it, defeating some shit. Eventually you come to 4 shrines, and you learn you need to cleanse them. The fire, earth, water, and air shrine, I believe. So you do that, you become the avatar, and then you go into the temple after defeating Wavebringer, and boom, you defeat the Plague Oni, I believe, which, you know, is just a dude. He's a dude. He dies, and boom, you have freed this, this aspect of Mushu, which is actually pretty lit. So you move on, you come back. I don't know if you talk to Noboru Akitami again, I don't really remember, but you go and you eventually go to Yoshihito Temple, which you learn, is, again, just absolutely being devastated by the local warlords and the pigs who have risen up against the samurai, which is kind of shit. So you're like, okay, I can help. I can do this. So you go, I believe you go to the ancient, do you go to the ancient burial grounds first? I think you do. So you go to the ancient burial grounds, you learn that there is a wraith that's plaguing it, and to get that wraith, you need to, recite a mantra, that you get from the local things around you. You go there, you defeat the wraith, boom, all is well. I believe, do you capture him in a cage, or is that a different one? I think that's a different one. I think you just defeat that wraith. And then you go to the Village of Sorrow. This is where you capture the dude in the cage. So, you help the local village, who, is all dead, and it's very sad. You help them out, they're like, please help me. You do that. And, boom. You've saved it, you capture a dude in a cage, and you force him to take you to the Tree of Life, because the bridge is just broken and shitty. So, boom, you go to the Tree of Life, you discover, oh no, the Tree of Life is being destroyed by a Death Oni, I believe, or something, which kind of shit. So, you go and you save the day, you beat the local warlord, you beat the Oni, and then all is well in the Tree of Life. You come back to Noboru Akutami, and he's like, it is finally time. You've restored peace in the lands by defeating the Onis. You must help me, and you must save the Emperor. So, you go to the Emperor. He is lying, like, he looks kind of sad, a little bit in pain, on a throne-looking ass thing. And you go up to him and you're like, yes, I will heal you. And then a Jade Oni pops out, and he's like, young wizard, you thought that you got this far, but no, it is me, the Jade Oni, and you will die. So then you do a solo fight with the Jade Oni who has like 6,500 health or something. You win easily because he's a little bitch. And then the Emperor pops out and he's like, young wizard, you have saved me and my people. Thank you. And then he hands you the Dragon Spire key. Boom, you're good. You've beaten Mushu, and now you must go to Dragon Spire to defeat Malastare in the climax of the final battle. So, that's basically it here. I've given you kind of the full story of Mushu. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, hit the sub button. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I'll answer any history questions you ask too if you want. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Leave a sub, like, whatever. See you in the next video. Have a fantastic day.